Okay, I'm here with a major rapture warning and notice, and I just saw an angel at the volcano flying fast. I'll get into that in a second, and what's going on with eruptions and the tremblings taking place at the volcano. It's Monday, 11:44 a.m. on November 15th, 2021, East Coast, New Jersey, by New York City in the U.S. I first want to say I have a great sense of rapture urgency that Jesus is going to appear, I believe, at any second here. That things aren't what they seem to be if you're following this volcano. I think the hour, the moment is late, much later than it seems. We're on the verge of this happening. Now, I believe 100% that this angel was there, and I saw it for a reason, to show what's going to happen here, and it's going to happen. Again, it flew in a wave type flight pattern. I hadn't seen that before all along here for weeks and weeks and weeks since I saw these sightings of angels on footage. It just started really happening several days ago. Again, to me, a wave, an ocean wave. It flew right through the middle of the screen, right past the volcano, the large picture of the volcano that took up mostly the whole screen. In front of it, it flew. Now, I was wondering to myself, is that from God or is that from the evil one? Because it looked very dark, not white, not shiny. And the reason why I know absolutely it was an angel, not a bird, is because I believe God was confirming to me those, wondering about that, and to be sure, because once more he allowed me to see a trail behind it, a glittering trail. That's not a bird. A bird doesn't do that, to show that it was an angel. It leaves sort of a sparkly, glittery, extended trail behind it. I don't always see that on the footage, but sometimes I do, and especially when it's important for me to concur and make sure, to say if it was definitely an angel or not. Their flight pattern is distinctive. They sort of jut along like in spurts, and they fly so fast, but it almost looks like they're stopping and going in midair, but they're not. They're just flying very quickly, and it gives that appearance like they're thrusted or propelled in juts, or almost like stop and go. It looks like it's stopping and going, but it's not. It's flying fast. It just appears that way. And also, a lot of times I notice that they sort of fly left, right, quickly. It gives that kind of appearance also. Sort of a jagged look to their flight pattern, though not always. It could just be straight ahead really quickly. So this one flew in really quickly. I saw the trail behind it. Once it hit the middle of the screen, it sort of slowed down. And as it got to the volcano, it sort of went up and down like in a high, like an arc, high and low, like a wave, or like highlighting a mountain or a big hill, flying over the top of it like this, that kind of pattern. And then it just sort of eased off and just sort of drifted off the screen, showing its wings, turning sideways with large wings. So I had just woken up an hour or two ago to start this day. Again, it's like not even noon here, so I woke up about maybe 10:30, just before. Checked the messages on the last video that I did, or I should say the comments. There was a comment there that sort of addressed this, and it kind of made me wonder. When I saw this angel, then I wondered to myself, is this from God or not? And then I remember that comment which said that it might seem to some that the angels appearing at the volcano might not look like God's angels, but it was a reassurance that they are, and they're there for a purpose. So I believe without a doubt it was, and again, it's a warning of imminent events to happen there. And of course, I believe with the rapture about to take place. I keep mentioning, and I'll continue to mention, that I've been seeing angels day in and day out right up to this moment, the past days even, that I didn't mention, but I still have, and I just did now and the sense of great urgency that goes along with this, with everything that's happening. So it's heading towards night now, nightfall over in La Palma, and I was watching the footage for throughout the day. It seems to me like there's been a big blow-off event going on there, tremendous smoke and explosions, but you can't hear it. It's being masked. It's very low volume, but I could see it. I could hear it very faintly, but there's rumblings and dogs barking, but it's so low, like 90% of, I believe, what's actually the sound that you would hear from that is being muffled, just with a lot of annoying noises again, right near the microphone. But I could clearly see all the smoke and the explosions going on in the distance, in the background. I make it out, despite the distance of the view that they're showing and the angle with this other hill or area in front of it that sort of, hides it, and is at a viewpoint where what's going on is behind it. It's behind it, is what I'm trying to say. It's blocked off, but I could see what's going on, all the tremendous blast and smoke, and the it's not loud, but I could hear the rumbling in the background and dogs barking. And so I would imagine that there's been a lot of quakes, rumbling, ground shaking going on all this time for hours and hours throughout the day over there. Though if you go and listen and look at the live streams, you might look at it and listen and say, oh, I don't see much going on here. I see some smoke. There's no loudness. That's very, very deceptive. I expect this to continue through the night. Again, if you go by the reporting of magnitudes and that type of thing, really, you're not going to have much to go by. Or if, waiting to hear some kind of breaking news or special message that a great quake has happened or large magnitude, you're really not going to hear it. There's only a handful that have been channels that's been reporting on this right along to show what's happening with the quakes and so on. So because it seems like not much is happening from the reports, there's been very little at all, if anything, reported about what's taking place with the volcano on these channels. And the attention really has been to focusing on the prospect of war and what's happening in Europe and Russia and that whole region. I don't know. I'm not really following it, but I'm hearing things. What develops with that and prophetically and before the rapture or after the rapture, just going to not comment on that right now. Whether this is part of it, the wars and rumors of wars, Jesus spoke of that. But I feel led, and I'm here to report on and continue with this volcano. And this is my report here. This is my sense of urgency, my sense that Jesus is very close. It may seem like, when is he going to get here, that type of thing. Or, you may not seem to see too much going on with the volcano or hear things right now and think, oh, well, that's fizzing out. It's not fizzling out. Plus, I look at this from what I sense in my spirit and what things going on in the spirit, and from the prophetic spiritual point of all of this, and this is my main concern right here, and that may seem subjective, and I guess it is in a certain sense, but I've been covering this for all the way through right now, and my urgency continues and even compounded way farther right here at this moment. So, there's a lot of aspects of this, of what's happening there from just the plain old scientific geological standpoint and the factors that could be influencing this volcano of all different types I've spoke about geologically and, in the sky, what might be manipulated with the volcano, you know what I'm saying? And of course with the spiritual things going on with it, as far as being God's judgment in relation to the rapture, which it seems to be. I don't know all these things. I don't think anyone really does the exact full scope of what's going on here. but I believe it plays a major part in the rapture about to happen here. So I expect to see major things continue in through the night. Again, don't look for any real report anywhere about what, goes down. And we don't know how this all is playing into the situation, again, spiritually, or what's happening under the earth or what have you. What I mean is what it would take or what point things need to reach to really cause a cracking off there. I don't know. Only God knows. Only Jesus knows right now, and only they know the timing, exact timing of the rapture. If this is a part of that scenario, I believe it is about to take place with this situation there in the Canaries. So there's no saying that believers would even be here to see such a thing happen, to be taken before that. Or I don't know if something happened and that occurred in the meantime to be raptured, right moments after that would take place. So I mean, we could just be gone from here any second, and that could just all finally take place once we're taken out of here. But I do feel and sense 100% that this is what's going down here right this moment and ready to happen. I really do. So I don't know how much time left there is here, but it seems like not much at all. So that's my report now. It seems like events are on the precipice of taking place here now. I'm not making any forecasts or predictions. I'm just here to say what I see and feel and sense, especially from the spiritual standpoint, and that things seem imminent here. And I have no reservations about saying this, though it might sound sensational, or like just putting all my eggs in one basket and basing the rapture upon just what's happening at the volcano and the possibilities. Because others can say, well, this could just keep going on and on and on. Again, I don't think so, not at all. And just the amount of deception and hiding of what's taking place, also, that's an indication of how serious that situation is, though, again, you won't hear reports about this. I'm beginning to think anywhere on the internet right now, because the impression seems that, not much major is happening. I believe that's a false impression. So the phrase, it's later than you think, that's what is going on here, I think. It's later than others might think is happening. Maybe there's going to be a lot of surprise once Jesus appears here. It might happen a lot quicker than you might think it's going to. So in closing here, I don't want to address things concerning the last video whatsoever as far as comments go. So I'm not even going to mention anything whatsoever about that, but I'm just mentioning this right this moment here if others have concerns about that. So I'll end by saying I just have a really good feeling inside of me, an urgency, a bubbly feeling, just, to tell everyone to rejoice, look up. This is about to take place, and, be of good cheer, be of good spirit. You're not going to be here much longer whatsoever. I think that's the message I'm supposed to end this here with. So again, I continue to have this sense of ongoing urgency, of ongoing events. I still expect things to continue now through the night into whenever, regardless if you hear any reports or not of anything major happening. I'm not really specifically going by that anymore. I think it's not a true or real indication of what's going on, especially spiritually and prophetically. Again, with Jesus' return, that could happen anytime in this process, and we don't even have to be here for anything major to take place. All right, God bless. And again, I feel like there's things that are going to happen I sense it. This is continuing here. This is a rapture watch, high watch time, at least from the standpoint of the things that I've been saying and are saying here leading up to this point. Though, like I say, Jesus said he's coming as a thief in the night, that there will be people going about life, whether sleeping or working or eating, drinking, being married, and that he would return to take his people at that time, like as it was in the days of Noah. So I'll try to keep things up to date as things go on, whether that's tonight or into tonight, or if I don't, then I don't. But I feel the tension. I feel the tension of what's happening and the urgency and the immediacy of this moment. I don't have all the answers how this eruption and volcano and potential what it could cause, how this is all playing out and intertwines with everything. I don't know. I just sense and tell you what I'm telling you, again from the prophetic standpoint. And God's been warning and warning and warning with these angels. I don't think that that's just a random thing, or that their wave pattern that I've seen the past several days is just coincidence either. But I think God is showing that for a certain reason, that their flight pattern is in that way, that wave-like motion flight pattern. So let me go now and load this, and that's it for right now. I'll see you later. Bye.